Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you guys being here. I just first off want to say thank you to John Cohen and our university leadership. I'm truly humbled by this opportunity. This is such a elite university and football program with great tradition and history. It's a special place, and so to represent this university as the head football coach, to represent our team in that way, I'm humbled by that, and I promise you'll get the best I absolutely have. I do want to take a minute and thank Coach Freeze. Myself, my family, we would not be here without him. Coach Freeze is truly a special, special man. Definitely affected our lives in many, many ways. He sees the person more than the coach, more than the player, and I think he has a unique ability at that and a gift to do that, and learned a lot from him, and just very thankful for him and again for the opportunity to be here. You know, it's been a kind of whirlwind 24 hours, you can imagine, with a lot going on. But I will say this and make sure this is first and foremost. We are going to play a game on the road in this conference versus a team that is very, very good. They're well coached, they're talented, they play with an edge, they compete. A great test for us and something that we embrace and look forward to, but that is completely what our focus has to be, obviously, as a coaching staff and as a team, and that was obviously the message to the players here earlier this morning. So with that, I'll open it up.
Hey, DJ, Justin Hutchinson, Auburn on 3. I guess offensively, is there anything that you want to see done differently? I know you have a limited time, obviously, but what changes can you make? What can you do differently there?
Yeah, I think it's important, like in football, you realize this, that it's not always what you do, it's how you do it and who does it. And I think that's a major thing, like how you do things, how you do anything in life really matters. And you can see a difference in two people doing the same exact thing, but there's a difference in how they're doing it. And so that's our first focus. And it with an edge and with relentless effort and a certain sense of physicality, it has to be done. My communication with the offense has been more schematically from a defensive viewpoint of, you know, that's my background, what I know. I'm certainly not going to try and step in to be doing things that aren't in my wheelhouse. But from those terms of, okay, here's some things defensively, viewing that where we could help and offering suggestions that way. Derek Nix will be the play caller. He'll be the play caller every down. He's the sole play caller. And I have extreme confidence in Derek. Derek and I have worked together at previous stops as well. Again, another great person, great coach. I think the players really responded to him and they understand where he's coming from. And I think Derek's going to do a great job. And we will be aggressive in everything we do.
DJ, are there any staff changes that have been made otherwise in terms of on the field coaches and who is going to take that 10th spot now with you being elevated head coach?
Yeah, so there's been no other changes on the field coaches. There's been some off the field staff changes that have taken place. The on the field thing doesn't take as much importance anymore with the new rules of, you know, you're allowed to have more than 10 guys coaching on the field. So that was always a big naming of that. The important thing to me was, in my comments with the staff when I echoed them was, I don't want to be changing a bunch of things and uprooting and guys start changing their jobs. I think it's important, like, we're able to focus on their jobs. And so for me, that's wearing two hats, but I don't want to be changing a bunch of other people doing that. So Jake Giannone is my guy that works with the linebackers on defense. He's been doing that all year long because as the coordinator, there's times where, you know, I need some help with position group as well. He'll continue to do that. He does a tremendous job. He's a tremendous young football coach. But in terms of, like, naming someone or something different, we're not doing that.
Peter Rauderkus, AO.com. Going back to the offense, quarterback was something that flip-flopped a little bit on Saturday. Do you guys have a plan yet going forward at quarterback this season?
Yeah, we're evaluating that right now. There's been discussion about that all throughout yesterday and today, and we'll certainly come to a decision on that. I think, you know, that's an important one. Obviously, that's the guy whose ball, you know, the ball's in his hands every down, and I'm trying to gather information on that too. That's obviously been something I've not really been a part of, and so to me, I don't think you hurry into decisions. It's kind of like I'm gathering information on that, evaluating with the offensive staff, getting their feedback, and speaking to those young men. And you know, I know this. We have three tremendous young men that can play the quarterback position at a high level. I know that, and so they are in the conversation on that. We'll make a decision here soon.
Coach Michael Giddens, War Report. Just for clarification, will you be calling the defense on game day and just kind of wearing two hats, or will you be delegating some of those defensive call responsibilities?
Yes, I'll be calling the defense. Yeah, we won't change how we're doing that. You know, it's I think we have a good flow of how we do things on defense. I love our staff. I love our group. I don't want to uproot and change a lot of that. So we're keeping that as normal as possible. You know, like things like this press conference usually didn't come up for me on a Monday. So like we're up there game planning. So you know, there's obviously a few things that alter kind of what our schedule is, but we do have a good routine in how we do things, and we're going to keep that the same.
Bill Cameron, ESPN 106.7 here in town. Talk about the reaction from the players when you got a chance to meet with them.
Yeah, you know, some of those things I think when you're with your group and your guys in the team room or in the locker room, it's like it's sacred and it stays in there. You know, I love our team. I love our guys. I think we got a great group that will respond well to what we're doing. I'm really excited, like I said, and humbled, and I told them that to represent him as a head football coach is a major deal for me. And you know, it's been cool being here for now. Like I looked around that room, we have a lot of guys that just I was a part of somehow of helping them get here, and now helping them develop and go through it. And man, that's so important. And so I think there's a bond in a sense of unity in there in that group, and we got to do that and come together as a team. And I think these guys will.
DJ, you've obviously been a head coach before, but you were also an interim at one point. How much did that experience, I know different situation, but
right.
way back when, kind of you feel like has kind of helped you to be in this moment and in this spot?
Yeah, I mean, it does. Like it's like anything else in life. When you do something the first time, you can reflect back and be like, well, okay, I would have done that differently or learned a lot from it. And so certainly with those experiences has helped. I think we're all products of our experiences. I've been fortunate enough to have those. I've been fortunate enough to really be around some tremendous head football coaches throughout my career at a lot of different stops to learn from. And so I think the important thing is you take bits and pieces from others you've been around, from the experiences you have, and you formulate and just be you know, genuine to who you are and how you would do things. And you know, I told our team this, I'll say it, like, just because we do something different right now doesn't mean the old way wasn't good or was bad or this is better. It's just, I think you have to be yourself and run the program as you see fit and not try and do it another way.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. John Cohen just mentioned how impressive the defense has been all season long. Is there any player in particular who has impressed you with their effort and performance this year on that side of the ball?
That's a hard one to single a certain guy out. I think collectively has been what I've been so proud of with these guys is they've collectively played well together in terms of swarming to the ball, playing with effort, you know, doing a good job gang tackling, getting around it. And I think that probably stuff like that doesn't happen without great leadership. And so you're talking about certain guys like Keldrick Falk and Champ Anthony, like those are kind of our bell cows, our leaders. Those guys, you want to talk about like guys that are made of something and character-wise, and obviously they do a great job on the field, and you guys see them make plays and everything else. But man, those guys are the glue that hold us together, and I think that's been so good for us as a coach. When you have great leadership through your players, and especially when the leaders are also productive and guys are playing on the field, man, it makes your job a lot easier.
Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports in Birmingham back here. John told us that you would receive consideration during the interview process. I'm interested, are you looking at these next 3 games as an opportunity? Do you want this job full-time? And then if we don't have an opportunity to speak to you later in the week, just some brief thoughts on Diego Pavia and that Vanderbilt offense that you're facing Saturday. Yeah,
like our focus is 100% on Vanderbilt. We're trying to go 1-0. We're trying to go 1-0 this week, and that will take all of our focus for sure. You know, obviously that's a hard enough task on a normal basis. Then you add in, you know, everything going on and distractions and all else. It will take all of us collectively to have our mind fully on that, and that's certainly where mine is. I do not take the responsibility lightly. These players are counting on myself and our coaching staff to give them a plan that they can have success with come Saturday. And so that is the focus all the way. You mentioned Diego. I mean, you know, we've had a chance to go against him before. That guy's a tremendous competitor. I think it's probably the best thing you can say, and that to me is the highest compliment you can give someone in this sport or anything else. He's a competitor. He's got an edge to him. He's always trying to find a way. He never slides. I mean, he just throws his body around, and he's out there, like you can tell he's out there just having fun and competing. And so I think his team certainly rallies around him. They respond to him. You know, it all starts with him, but they've got talent around him as well. I think they have talent at all positions. They have an experienced offensive line. You know, their receivers are guys that have played a lot and caught a lot of balls for them. You know, I think their tight end's one of the best tight ends in the country, and their backs do a great job of getting north. So it's a big challenge, big task. I think our guys will embrace that and be up for it.
Taylor Korn, The Barn. You spoke on it a little bit 2 questions ago, but can you kind of talk a little bit more about the leadership that you've seen from Keldrick, Falk, and Champ Anthony, 2 guys that we've been able to talk to after a couple of tough games this season, and how much you've seen the younger guys take to the advice that they're getting from those veterans after dealing with some adversity throughout the season?
Yeah, I think leadership's one of those words that it's hard to really, like we've all heard it, we use it, but like how do you really describe it? What does it really mean? And I think 2 ways I'll explain how those guys lead. They lead by example, first and foremost. And anytime you have like Keldrick Falk, he's one of the best players in the country. So that's a guy that legitimately could probably cut some corners if he wanted to, take advantage of the fact that, yeah, I mean, no matter what Keldrick does, he's probably going to be out there starting for us, right? I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. But he's our hardest worker. He leads by example in everything he does. He's one of the best teammates, or probably our best teammate on the field. He values every relationship he has with his teammates. So leading by example, and then being servant leaders. Like they're not too big for anything, not too big for their teammates. They're not going to ask their teammates to do anything they won't do themselves. And so again, when you have that, it makes things a lot easier, and guys fall in line. And it's certainly, you can see already the way that has trickled down to some of the younger guys on the roster, and especially in their position group.
Jeff Shear, AuburnTigers.com. DJ, what would you say to the Auburn fan base for the rest of the season? 2 more home games.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, our fan base is incredible. The support we get every home game here, whatever the situation, whatever's going on, whatever the weather, whatever the time of the game, whatever, they're there, that Tiger Walk, that's the most amazing experience you could have in this game. And so, first off, thank you for your support, and I just want them to know that we are going to do everything possible to represent them and this great university in a way that they can be proud of. This place is built on hard work, toughness, blue-collar mentality, and that is what this team has. That's what we're going to display. We're going to play with a relentless effort and play for one another and really have pride in that AU that's on our chest.
Yeah, DJ, Christian Clemente with Auburn 247. Signing day a month away. Have you had a chance to talk with commits? What's your kind of message to those guys trying to get them to stick in the class?
I have, yes, and that's ongoing. I had a bunch of conversations yesterday, and obviously that's every day. That'll continue throughout today and this evening. The conversation was very positive, very positive feedback on both sides, and I think this place, there's so much to recruit to this place, and they understand that. When you bring a guy here on campus, when you bring a guy here for that game day atmosphere we're talking about, it's eye-opening for anyone. And just the tradition and history of this program and all that this place can provide, this university can provide you from an educational standpoint and just this community, Auburn's an easy place to sell. And so these guys, there's a lot of reasons why. The guys that are in this class, they've chosen Auburn for a lot of reasons, and a lot of those reasons are still the same. And, we're going to continue to recruit them like crazy.
Coach Jerry Humphrey III, AO.com. You guys have been able to defend well against some talented quarterbacks this year. Looking ahead at the Diego Pavia matchup, will you guys kind of use that same formula or kind of change it up since you guys seen him before?
Yeah, we have faced some really talented quarterbacks this year for sure, and Diego being another one of those. I think he is unique in what he does and what his skill set is. I don't think you can really mimic and say this reminds you of another guy. We'll obviously take bits and pieces from game plans and things that have worked, but there's also some things we got to do differently and do in a better way and in a different way in order to try and contain him and slow him down.
Nathan King, Auburn Undercover. I know it's been a hectic 24 hours for you, but do you have any injury updates? I know we saw, I believe, Jeremiah leave the game and Elijah Melendez as well.
Yeah, Nothing further update on that right now. Those guys are both recovering well, and we'll obviously, when that comes out on Wednesday, they'll be on the the status for them will be out then.
Yeah, JG, Auburn Sports on 3. My question for you is, you guys scored 3 points the other day. Defense probably set that up anyway. Do you think there's untapped potential with this offense, things that you can do in the next 3 games to kind of bring it alive?
Yes, I do. I do. I think there's talented guys in that room. I think there's guys in that room that that have the ability to be successful and want to. And I think we got to do a great job of supporting them and providing that. So absolutely, I do.
Hey, Coach. Jacob Morris, CBS 42 in Birmingham. You talked about, doing this your own way. John said that this is your program for the next 3 weeks. To the fan base, how would you describe the identity of a DJ Durkin-led Auburn team?
Yeah, we made a big point with our guys of like, this is our team. Like, it's not, I know all the questions and how it's going, and it's about offense and defense. We're a team. We're a team, and that's first and foremost. So this is our team. We all take ownership in what goes on that field, no matter what phase it is, including special teams. It's all together. And so, like, for me, it's a group of guys that you can tell they're playing for one another. And how do you tell that? By the amount of energy and effort they play with. And that's it. I want our guys to go compete. I want them to play with confidence and not a care in the world. That's it. Don't worry. We're going to prepare them right. We're going to have a great week of practice, prepare, and go out there and let it loose. And I want us to be the aggressor in all situations. No hesitation, and I think our guys will embrace that. I know they will, and so we're going to do that as a team.
Coach, William Halliday with Auburn Undercover. Are there any freshmen over these next 3 games to finish out the regular season that you or any younger guys that you expect to get some playing time?
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of freshmen already playing, contributing, and I think a lot of that will continue. I don't have a new name for you of someone that maybe hasn't been in the mix that currently right now would be. Obviously, it's a Monday. We're still game planning and going through that. Those are all conversations we'll have, but at this time, nothing different. All right, thank you, guys.